Hello and welcome to Homestead in the Woods. My name is Catherine and today I am going to make some minestrone soup with only pantry ingredients. So what I'm using today from the back here is freeze-dried California mixed vegetables, which is broccoli, carrots, and cauliflower, some freeze-dried cabbage, all home freeze-dried, a pint of homemade chicken stock, a pint of home canned tomatoes. I've got some orzo from my pantry, and I've got some salt and pepper, Italian seasoning, garlic powder, and chicken base broth, which is going to all become part of that soup. And the only other thing I'll be using is some water from the kitchen, and let's get going. I've opened up my freeze-dried vegetables, and they look absolutely wonderful. Perfectly done, perfectly dry, and they are going to be tasting very good in our soup. I'm going to start by getting my pan on the heat. That's about a medium. At this point it could be turned up fairly high. But at any rate, I'm going to be adding my homemade chicken broth, chicken stock. It's very rich. That's absolutely gorgeous. And the tomatoes. They're splashing on me. There we go. Get back a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to fill these jars, 2 jars with water, and add those to the pot as well. I've already added in 1 pint of water, and here is the second pint of water. What I forgot to mention is that I'm also adding some freeze-dried onions. So all of the seasonings can go in now. So this is just a little bit of the seasoning that's left. It's just chicken base, and there's about a teaspoon there, so I'm going to add that. Remaining seasonings are, we got the dog barking out there. Remaining seasons are about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'll probably need some more, but that's a starting point. Scant 1/8 teaspoon of garlic powder, about an 1/8 teaspoon of pepper, and 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. At this point, all we're going to do is give it a stir and let it come to a boil, and then we're going to be putting in some of the other ingredients. So it's come to a boil, and I remember that I had some green beans just starting to come on out in my garden, so I ran out there and grabbed about 6 of those, and those can go in now. They're going to take a little bit longer to cook than the other items, but I'll give that just a minute, and then I'm going to add the pasta. This is pretty much turning into more of a vegetable soup than a minestrone, but it's all good, right? You just use what's available. Green beans are in, and I'm going to add the pasta. I have some orzo that was already opened. I need to use that up. This is about a 1/2 cup. I want some pasta in there, but I don't want it to be so thick that it ends up being more of a stew consistency. So there is a 1/2 cup of orzo, and we're going to let that cook for a little while before we add the remaining vegetables, because they have been freeze-dried, and they will reabsorb some of the moisture as well, which is the other reason you don't want to use too much pasta. And so we're going to cook this for a few minutes before we add the remaining ingredients. And like I said, the soup just keeps changing, as do many of my soups. I never make it the same way twice. I also realized I have some freeze-dried zucchini in my cupboard, and I'm going to throw that in as well when it's time for the remaining vegetables. It's been several minutes since I put in the orzo, so I'm going to go ahead and start putting in my freeze-dried vegetables. This is the zucchini, and it's a 1/2 cup roughly. It's just kind of up over the edge, but that's fine. And I'm also adding about 1 cup of the broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots that were freeze-dried. And lastly, I'm adding in about 1 cup of the freeze-dried cabbage. That is looking like a delicious soup. Now the freeze-dried vegetables are all in the process of rehydrating as I put them in there, so they are also going to absorb some of the liquid and thicken up this soup. So it'll be cooking for a few minutes more until the pasta is completely cooked through. This soup is looking wonderful. Check this out. and it all came out of my pantry. Delicious. You could add a little chicken to it if you wanted. If you had a little leftover rotisserie chicken, you could certainly put that in. Any other meats that you wanted to put in, why not? So I am going to give this a try. So this soup is perfect as it is. I gave it a try. I think if anybody wants some more salt and pepper, they can add this at the table, but it's not something that I want to add to the pot right now. It is absolutely perfect the way it is, and I'm going to sit down with my husband here and we're going to have some lunch. Thanks for joining me on this very short video, and if you wouldn't mind, if you please like, subscribe, share if you are so inclined, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.